Shalom and good morning. I'm Angel. Welcome to Healthy in Heart, and hope you are healthy in heart, mind, body, and soul today. Let's talk a little bit about mind games. I mentioned it in an earlier video in regards to the games that we play with ourselves. People will play games, mind games with us. That's usually what we associate mind games with, is people who try to get what they want out of us. Least cost to them. We generally associate someone who plays mind games as someone who's very charismatic, someone who's very charming, always has a smile on their face. That's true, but it's not always the case. I can think of someone right now who is very dark, very twisted, who plays mind games with people. So it's not always someone who is very charismatic. But at the very heart of it, when somebody plays mind games with you, what they're doing is they're trying to manipulate you into doing something or being something, or, basically trying to passive aggressively control your behavior or your choices. But we play mind games with ourselves too. And I wanted to go into that a little bit more in depth. Most of the time, the mind games we play with ourselves, they are a manipulation. It is a way that we can get what we want, again, with the least cost to us. Now, if you're a person who, I don't play mind games with other people. That's not what I'm about. I don't want to manipulate or control other people. I respect their ability to make their own decisions for their life. But I do play mind games with myself. I believe it's connected to self-esteem, self-efficacy, where you don't think you're capable of doing something, so you sabotage yourself. You play mind games with why you can't do it. You give yourself excuses. Like, I don't feel like it. I don't have the time. That's a big one. To exercise, to eat right, to prepare food, whatever. I'll postpone it to a later time. I'll start the diet on Monday. I'll start exercising on Friday. Whatever. But here's the thing. It's a mind game that you're playing with yourself when you do that. You're not going to get anything good out of those kind of mind games. But you can, if you know this as your tendency in how you are with yourself, you can make that work for you instead of against you, which is how most of it, or at least that's how it was with me. I was always working against myself, always self-sabotaging, always making excuses, always postponing. How I changed the way I play mind games with myself is kind of a challenge. It's going to feel a little different, and that's okay. It really is okay. So, like, one of the mind games that I mentioned earlier in an earlier video that I do is I have my challenge thing here. I challenge myself. If now I do have 2 sick days. I was in the ER on those 2 days. So I'm not going to start over because of that. So I do allow myself sick days. But other than that, if I don't do what I do, then I don't get the reward at the end. That's a basic behavior modification strategy, but it works. It is very successful. It's something that's used with autism a lot. It's something that is used with any kind of behavior that you want to change. It can be used with that. One of the excuses I used to make is, I don't have time to exercise. That's just not true. I just didn't make it a priority. And that's part of getting rid of or altering the mind games you play with yourself. Is first and foremost, you have to be honest with yourself, because if you're not, you're going to keep getting the same thing you've been getting. You're not going to get something different if you continue doing the same thing. So you got to do something different. Be completely honest with yourself. I mean, why would you lie to yourself anyway, right? You're just deluding yourself, and I don't want to be deluded anymore. I've deluded myself for 40 plus years, and I don't want to do that anymore. So my big thing is, I have to be honest with myself. I require honesty from other people. I require that I'm honest with other people. So why would I expect any less from myself? And I'll go into that a little more in detail in another video. But here's the thing, like with Food Journal, if, you know, one of the mind games, well, if I don't write it down, it didn't really happen. Yeah, it did. Yes, it did. You'll see it in your blood sugar. You'll see it on the scales. You'll see it. Okay. Doesn't just miraculously disappear just because you didn't write it down or because you don't want to be held accountable for it. You do have to be accountable to yourself. I don't care what anyone else says or what anyone else does. My husband is a wonderful support, but it doesn't matter what he says. Maybe I'm trying to think of a way to put this. He can't do it for me. No matter how much he wants me to, he can't do it for me. I have to make that choice myself. And so that's a big part of it. So if it goes, I just have to say, if it goes on my mouth, it goes on the paper. Being honest with yourself is one of the ways that you can stop the mind games. You have to be accountable to yourself. It doesn't matter if you're accountable to other people as far as what you do for what you're eating, what your activity you're doing, that kind of thing, physical activity. You know, that doesn't matter if you're forthright with other people, because really it's not anybody else's business. I mean, it's my husband's because he's my other half. But as far as, you know, you guys, it's not your business, right? It's not my sister's business. It's not my mom's business. It's not my mother-in-law's business. It's my business. What I put in my mouth, how my health is, that's my business. And I can share it. I can choose to share it, or I can choose not to. And it's the same thing for you. I mean, you do not have to put yourself out there. But you do need to be accountable to yourself. Postponing things to a later date, it doesn't work. It never works. And here's the thing: if you don't start something, you can't quit it, and you can't stop it. So when you're talking about starting a diet on Monday, the way I eat is not a diet. It's my lifestyle. So there's no starting it on Monday. It's every day. It's what I do every day. Every day I get up, I eat healthy, I eat low fat, I eat whole food plants. Every day. It's not a choice to not do that. That is my lifestyle. That is my choice in how I want to fuel my body. So we need to stop making excuses. We need to stop trying to postpone things that we need to be doing right now. There's no excuse. One of my favorite sayings is, any excuse will do if you're looking for an excuse. It will. You can make any kind of excuse you want if you're wanting to excuse something that shouldn't really be excused. And that goes with other people's behavior, how they treat you, how they interact with you, but as well as how you treat yourself. Usually when you become overweight, and I know this isn't the case with everyone, but usually when you become overweight, it's because lack of information, lack of knowledge, lack of self-discipline. I'm sorry, it's true. It applies to me too. And I don't want to offend you guys, but if it fits, if the shoe fits, wear it. Accept the truth of it. That's my point. Accept the truth of what is, and then you can change. Because if you don't ever accept it, you can never change what you don't accept, what you don't understand, what you don't see. If you walk around with blinders on all the time, you're not even seeing what you're doing. How can you change what you do if you don't see it? If you intentionally turn a blind eye to that plate of brownies, or if you intentionally don't want to be accountable for that cupcake or the huge ribeye steak or whatever your weakness is, and that goes to knowing yourself. And that's part of a journey. If you want to lose weight and you want to be healthy and you want to have that long term, it is vitally important that you are honest with yourself. That is the biggest thing in changing your life. So that's all I wanted to say. Hopefully if somebody's trying to play mind games with you in your life, then you can put up boundaries and put a stop to that. I've done that successfully in the past. You can do it. But the biggest perpetrator of the mind games that are played on us are played by ourselves, because we don't like to hear the hard truth. We don't like to do the hard things. We don't like to see, understand, and accept what is. And if you can't accept what is, you can't change it to be something different. And I'll talk about that a little more with the goals, but when I talk about goal setting, but you really have to accept what is, and then you can change what is to be what you want it to be. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope this has been helpful. I would love to hear your comments below. And Yahweh bless you and keep you and give you shalom until next time.